We could talk data quality for days, but I think the specific issue of corrections to errors is really important. And it's one that we don't have solved by a long shot. Often users of the technology will see an error and may or may not take the time or have the means to report it or
I know what
correct
to do,
it.
right?
Right, exactly. So I think realistically, more often than not, I mean, we see errors, if you will, in problem lists and med lists, but I mean, mostly those are more tweaks. I mean, it's rare to see something that's truly wrong. It's more that it's been modified, it's been changed, it's been discontinued, et cetera. So we fix those kinds of errors all the time. But some of those more subtle errors, I think it's really the patient who is in the best position to identify those. And there's not yet a standardized way to deal with that. And I've heard from many patients and patient advocates about the frustration that they feel where something will have been entered erroneously in one place. And now with interoperability, that, as we said, that gets propagated across an expanse of users. There is work being done on a FHIR-based technology for patients to be able to at least request corrections. It wouldn't actually make the corrections, but it's a request. And this came up through our interoperability standards work group, and we're actually going to be making a specific recommendation next week to the HITAC and onto ONC for that particular use case to be supported and tracked in the interoperability standards advisory and eventually in the US CDI if that were appropriate. But it's really not a US CDI issue, but it really is, it's a workflow issue. And it as you say, it can be very complicated, right? It's not just the going to the source of the information, but who else has seen that information? Who else has had that information transmitted to them? What are the processes for chasing that down and trying to repair an error in all of the relevant places where that data exists? And that really gets you back to provenance. I mean, how are we going to technologically keep track of the provenance of data? And I'm going to turn this to another area that I'm really interested in, which is our current methodology of interoperability. It's all about sending copies of data around. And it's all about having a copy of the data wherever it is that you're going to apply your tools, whether it's your human thought, whether it's your algorithm, whatever it is, your decision support. It's all about looking at the data that I have in my system, which is variably accurate, variably complete, variably up to date, right? Depending on all of this connectivity and whatnot. What I look forward to is a future state where the data just stays where it is. And instead of bringing the data in to whatever user and trying to make a copy and then work with it, that you bring the, as I say, bring the algorithm to the data. Leave the data at the source, whether it's the laboratory, whether it's the clinician, whether it's the imaging center, whether it's the patient themselves, the payer, et cetera. And as much as possible, stop making copies. Stop trying to create this mythical longitudinal record that is going to, we're all going to be the holy grail here. And all of the privacy and security problems that come up when we're shipping data around, and the storage challenges that come up when I have to keep my DICOM image or my genetic file in multiple systems. It's crazy.